and I skipped Kevin Holland. How could I? How could I? That was one of the sickest stoppages ever.
Yeah.
Against Jacare Souza.
Yeah.
Punches from the bottom, doing his best impression of Nico Price on good old Randy Brown. But Kevin Holland did it different. He did it with style, and he did it with a little centrifugal force. What did you think about Kevin Holland stopping Souza?
Oh yeah, I'm super impressed with Kevin Holland. That dude's a beast. He's one of the new generation of guys that just kind of come in here and fight all the time, and seems to have great results. For Jacare, basically copy and paste everything we just said about JDS. Old guy, looked old, fought old, is in a rough spot in his career where he's nowhere near a belt or title talks. Probably best for him to move on from the UFC unless he is content to play whatever this role is where he just kind of is a gatekeeper to the top 15 essentially, which is that's what he already is. So
Yeah. I feel differently about him than I do JDS. JDS, I feel like maybe his UFC career could be over. With Jacare, I feel like his MMA career should probably be over. Um,
you would want
he
to see Jacare and Musasi 3.
No,
Yeah,
I do not.
I don't either.
Jacare got stopped with punches from the bottom. No. Jacare got stopped
knocked it dead.
with punches from the bottom,
Yeah.
where he had someone on the ground and he got stopped. Dude, Jacare got the fight to the exact location he wanted it to be. He did not want to stand with Kevin Holland. That was a recipe for bad things for his health. He gets the fight almost immediately exactly where he wants it and punches from the bottom. Kevin Holland used centrifugal force or whatever, but I mean, let's be real. Jacare, I'll put it like this. Does that punch stop anyone in the top 15 at middleweight?
I mean, no, and also they just wouldn't be in that position as it is.
No. Well, what I'm saying, yes. It was like Jacare. He just was hesitant in those positions, and those are positions that he is dominant in, and it's his expertise. And it sucks. It's a thing that we're coming on a. So in our time of watching MMA, we've been watching MMA for about 15 years, give or take a few years.
Mm-hmm.
So right now we are coming upon a big wave of guys that we've watched over the past decade. It's unlike it. Guys have retired here and there throughout our time watching MMA. I feel like we're on the precipice of a wave of retirements, like a lot of them. And even though the sport is young, we haven't seen something like this. The amount of guys getting diminished by the sport in mass.
Mm-hmm.
And
that generation that was on their way out when we kind of first came in, like the Randys and the Chucks and the Titos and those kind of guys, right? They were generally already old guys. They were old guy fighting as it was, right? But I was thinking about this yesterday when we were watching JDS fight Roy Nelson at UFC 117, or when we were watching him fight Shane Carwin, or when we were meeting him live in Indianapolis. He was the young guy that was murking all these old heavyweights. He was young, he was fast, he was the young dude on the scene. And it's crazy that the life cycle of an MMA fighter happens like this. I mean, we're about to talk about Tony, the same thing. Like this stuff happens so fast. Like I remember it vividly, like it was yesterday that you come onto the scene. You're the new hot guy, and you're obliterating all these old dudes, and like you run through everybody, and then you're on top of the world. Like you get the belt or something, and maybe you defend it once or twice, and then a new young cat comes along and smacks you down, and then a couple of years later, you're done. Your whole run and your career could be in less than 10 years.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and that's what's weird is when we were watching him do that to like Gilbert Ivel when
Hmm.
he destroyed Gilbert Ivel. I don't know. I'd maybe seen Gilbert Ivel one time before. I didn't have a decade of watching Gilbert Ivel
Yeah.
and then be like, "Oh, Gilbert Ivel isn't that good anymore." Like, no, these are guys that like we met JDS in Indianapolis before he could speak English,
Mhm.
and we've watched him since then. He was, I want to say he was in his 20s.
He was
Yeah,
in his
he was
20s.
like,
That was like 2 or 3 fights before he even fought for the belt.
yeah. So
Like,
he was like in his like mid 20s.
yes,
Like, he was a phenomenally young heavyweight.
yeah, because I want to
Yeah.
say he was on like just his third fight in the UFC after when we met him, and then he would go on to fight Shane Carwin and then go for the belt afterwards.
Yeah, man. It's just yeah, we're about to see a wave of retirements and not ones like yeah, like a Tito Ortiz where he's just like, oh, my body's kind of beat up. I should leave now, or like he